Howdy, everybody. How's it going? It's been a minute. My semi apologies. I'm just like everybody else. I procrastinate and I put some stuff off. And in all honesty, I had to devote a little time to that important thing we call self care. It wasn't really my choice. I had a few doctors basically say you need to devote some time to self care. Anyway, we talk about living the best life. We talk about goal crushing a lot. And we've talked about this topic before. Normally, I have a mental script. I don't have much of a mental script. It was just the day, just what it was. And I've been putting some things off in my brain. And, we really need to go back and we really need to talk about mental health. When we talk about self care, for myself, mental health, that's like the bullseye. There's a dartboard, mental health, right there. Wow. The bullseye is like mental health. Worry leads to illness. You can't get your body right if your brain isn't right. And honestly, even having a great body is not the greatest if your mental health and your mental is not correct. That great saying is, was it like take time, devote time for yourself, or otherwise devote time to illness? Basically, what they're saying. If you're watching this crappy video, congratulations, because you've made it through every crap day. You've made it through the hardest, the darkest, the most depressing days of your life. Congratulations. You've made it. There is absolutely, and I speak from my own experience, there's absolutely nothing more important than making it to see the sun come up the next day. It all starts with that. Even if you get through the night and you see that sun come up in the morning, you go to bed. You made it to the next day. Without making it to that next day, there isn't anything. There's no road to redemption. There's nothing. The great part, especially about America, is for the most part, you could really F it up and travel the road to redemption, to greatness. When we look at things like we watch the Olympics, the stories that we love the most are from people that went through hard times and got to this great moment in life. The better stories in America isn't the person that he was born in a mansion with a gold spoon in his mouth and he went on to do great things. There are the people that like, man, this person went through some shit and this is what they accomplished. Even if they just went through some shit, pardon my English, and they just turned out to be a good human being, that's one hell of a story. When we are talking about, I got to smoke during this video, mental health and those dark moments in life, there's nothing more important than making it to the next day. Nothing. You can't start a new chapter without beginning another chapter. Probably even Hitler has somebody that wanted to see him make it to the next day. Okay, horrible person. I love you. Somebody out there loves you. They want to see you make it to the next day. It gets that freaking dark. It gets that hard. All you got to do is pick up that phone. You could text. There's numbers you can call. There's numbers you can text. Sometimes the hardest part is talking to somebody you talk to a complete stranger. And they can do their best to help you get to the next day. We talk about strength. We also look at strength as how much can somebody carry? How much can somebody endure? That's part of strength. Another part of strength is knowing when to reach that hand out and ask for help. Whether it be mental, whether it be, I don't understand how this freaking thing works. I don't understand how to on whatever the print app and download the new print driver, whatever. A part of strength that no one really talks about is the ability to seek help with something that you don't understand or something that you can't handle. That is another part of strength that people don't talk about. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about whatever. I'm kind of shameless at this point of life. I talk a lot about understanding your self worth. The positive to that, the head or the tail of the coin, however you want to look at it, is understanding your self worth and you setting your own self worth, and you don't give two flying F's about somebody else's feelings. Now, the other side of that coin is you have to keep your image of your self worth and understanding of your self worth to the point to know that you have to be realistic about it. You can't allow it to get too low. The thing that I work on a lot is not allowing the highs to get me too high, not allowing the lows to get me too low. There ain't nothing wrong with staying in the middle. You ride a little bit of the roller coaster, don't get too high, you don't get too low. It was Tony Robbins talking about, like 6 minutes. I'm trying not to ramble on, but mental health, let's take a few extra minutes here. Instagram can wait. He talked about being conscious of where you are parking, I will call it your mental automobile. We do our best to park it in Beverly Hills where, another day in paradise, and we try not to park it in East St. Louis where, you know what I'm saying. Someday you're just trying to park it in, I don't know, Columbia, Missouri. There's a bunch of co-eds. There's a White Castle. It's not too great. Not the greatest, not the worst. It's kind of a nice place. Before we get up, and when we get up in the morning, we have to set our mental table. Before we get on Instagram and look at all these fake people that try and make us feel bad about how great their lives are and how great our lives aren't. We have to set our own mental table. Every day's got hard. Every day, every life has got hard roads through it. I got good news for you. Miserable people live in mansions too. They talk stories about people that win the lottery and they go broke, they die, whatever. They were miserable before they got money. And once they got money, guess what? They were still miserable. There are happy people living in huts. There are happy people living on the streets. Some of that is a mental choice. Depression, that's a whole nother deep water that sometimes requires professionals, medications, whatever it takes. But where we choose to put our mental baggage, so to speak, our mental health, our mental outlook, that is partially, mostly the choice that you and I have to make every day. The universe is scientifically based on positives and negatives. For every positive ion, there's like a negative ion. There's some neutral ions. Want to get into science? Look, that's the reason I didn't become a doctor, because C minus. Okay. But that glass, it's half full, it's half empty. It's how you choose to see it. For light, there's darkness. For hope, there's despair. What are you going to choose? How do you choose to do it? Sometimes you need a little help finding a positive person to help you make that choice, whatever it takes. Great saying, glory comes in the morning. I have no idea how to end this video. I'll kind of end it right there. Glory comes in the morning. If you need help to see that morning, go get it. Whatever it takes. I'll see you soon.